Hello, beautiful people. Woo, it's Thursday, y'all. Almost Friday. It's been a week. Well, welcome back to an all-new episode of Point of View. Crystal is back at the table today to join the discussion.
Hey.
I'm with the blue hair and nails. Looking good. Welcome back. Coming up, Ayesha Curry makes an interesting confession. She never planned on marriage or kids before meeting Steph Curry. Plus, we'll share a touching story about a single mother who lost everything just trying to provide for her family. Talk about the sacrifices a mother has to make. And later, it's time for Girlfriend's Guide, where things might get a little spicy and mind, body, and soul. So pull up a seat and join the discussion. You're watching Point of View. Talking about life taking unexpected turns. I know about it. Ayesha Curry just revealed that she never planned on marriage or having kids. That all changed when she met Steph Curry, the highly sought after NBA star. Now they're raising 4 children together, and her story really makes you think. How much do our plans actually shape our lives? And how much does love change everything? Take a look at what she had to say.
Okay, 4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
I think it's just amazing that she met like the love of her life at such an early time, which she had her mind focused on one thing, but perhaps God just had other plans for her to meet like a real love, and they're still together and they're still strong. And I love that. And I think we have these plans in life, but you just don't know what God's will is at sometimes. And he has another plan. That's what's going to happen, you know, and I find it fascinating because sometimes you just don't know.
Well, I had a life plan, and the life plan went nothing like what I thought it would. So I understand what she's saying. I mean, it's okay to say you didn't want kids. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
People like to shame you for saying, oh, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married.
Who's shaming somebody?
There's a lot of people out here that shame people for that. But even myself, my life's plan was to I wanted to be a millionaire by 20. Okay, we're good with that. I didn't want any kids till 35. By 35, I had 3 children.
Wow.
That was not a part of my life's plan. I wrote this whole plan out, and that's just not how it turned out. But again, you don't know what God has for you. You can create a plan. That's all you did was create a plan.
He
was it written that way? Right, right.
Yeah.
So I didn't take that in any other fashion other than her saying, hey, I didn't want that, but God blessed me, and I had to support my husband. And you didn't know if your husband was going to be successful either, but you took that leap of faith, and look where you are now.
Yeah.
Is there a regret? I highly doubt it.
Right. Yeah, I love that she said as well, that you don't know what you want. Because I think, people are, painting many narratives around like that conversation and what she had to say. But, I think if you really listen and you hear her saying you don't know what you want, is, kind of her saying like, I have the life that I want and I didn't know that this is what I wanted because it's not what I wanted. And so, I love that for her. I love to see that. I personally have always been a person that, didn't spend a lot of time or maybe sometimes as much time as I should have in hindsight planning, because I always felt like that life was going to go exactly the way that God wanted it to anyways. And so I'm kind of just a person that, I'm going to go full throttle, but even in that, I'm going with the flow. I'm going with the tide. And, instead of trying to always, go
control it.
Yeah.
You?
What?
Anything? What do you think about those women that it goes exactly as planned? Like, they wrote out the plan and then they're like, This is how it happened. It happened just like I planned it.
Well, the Bible also says, write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah.
Amen.
You know, so at the end of the day, maybe there is strategy in that as well.
Yeah.
And then maybe there are just some people that, you know, God has for them just to, you know, maybe he's ordering their steps and
Yeah.
they're following and they get exactly where they need to be. But then I think that some of us, you know, sometimes we, as much as we think we don't, we are going against the tide. Maybe it is a little bit of rebellion, a little bit of, you know, having a life that we feel like serves us. And you realize that, hey, you know, there ultimately is a plan before creation for you. And you're kind of trying to navigate your own way, but
Yeah.
you're still going to end up
It's
where
gonna
God
be
says.
where he wants
you
you
just
to be in
going
the first
way
place.
around the world.
Right.
And we be waking up looking like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in delay. Like,
Yeah.
you doing what you want to do.
Yeah, my life, it's totally different than how I planned it, well, how I saw it. And I'm not sure, like, if I really, like stuck with that plan, like, this is what's going to happen, or I kind of hoped it would happen, but I'm not quite sure I was ever, like, solid in it. Yeah. And that you know, that could be something as well. When you solid in that plan, some people be solid in it, and it happens for them. Do you think Steph Curry as a husband should, like, now support her dreams, like redirect her that way, where her dreams are supported?
Absolutely.
I don't know if I necessarily think so, because I feel like she should have the freedom to do whatever, you know, she wants to do. I'm sure that their life affords that. But at the same time, dreams that she had before you were a wife, before you were a mother of four, before you guys were a big, you know, family that is a household name, I'm sure those aren't even her dreams anymore. You know, so I mean, I think she should have the freedom to, you know, kind of explore what is for her. But I'm sure she also has found, like, this is life right now. And they have 4 young kids. So I mean, how much in a dream are you going to be right now?
Well, looking from the outside in, it seems like she's been doing a lot of things. Like, she has a cookware, housewares. She has a lot of things that she's endorsed with her name. So I think, in a way, the dreams that she had, I heard that she wanted to be an actress, but it seems like those dreams that she had, they're going in that direction. She's, you know,
naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
think
happy
as
for
her
her.
husband, I mean, him taking the time to say, okay, baby, I've done mine. A basketball season only lasts but so long. Now let's pursue you.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong with having multimillionaire between two.
Right. I think it's going to happen automatically. What's supposed to happen is going to happen, and it's going to happen naturally. Yeah.
I can't remember what athlete just said that, but I know I saw that recently. I think it was a football player, but he said that, you know, his wife has had like 4 or 5 kids over the span of his career, and he just sat out on a really big game or something. I wish I remembered his name, but he was just pretty much saying, like, hey, you know, my wife has stuck with me through all of this. Now it's time to focus on what she wants. So,
that's nice.
Yeah, I wonder if that came from some backlash. If not, he's like, you know, I ain't got no choice. I got, hey.
I better do it or lose it. Just a few weeks ago, now talking about family and children and moms making sacrifices, Burger King employee recently went viral for holding down the store alone, working a 12-hour shift without any assistance. Her story went completely viral and inspired so many single mothers across the world. You would think the corporation would reward her for her dedication, for her sacrifice to the store. But instead, she was fired for coming in late while trying to care for her children. It really makes you wonder, how do we balance work, responsibility, and family in a world that sometimes seems so unforgiving?
Well, I feel that Burger King, on the back end, she embarrassed them. Okay, let's talk about it.
She embarrassed them?
She embarrassed the corporation of Burger King itself because, one, you are a franchise, a household name. You are now showing an employee manning an entire restaurant that should be fully staffed. So that franchise owner, if that's how they do it, now is embarrassed because the corporate world is coming down on you. Like, first of all, you showed this in the world that you don't have enough. Number 2, her manager probably got chewed out next. And now they're like, okay, we're gonna do this quietly, but how can we get rid of her? Because she just caused the whole situation, even though it wasn't her that caused that situation.
Right.
Yeah,
So
someone
from the back
recorded
end,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So from the back end, it's embarrassment for the corporation itself. But now, let's be honest. This lady has accumulated $103,000 in GoFundMe money.
Oh, wow.
Bye-bye, Burger King. Have a great
First,
day.
honey,
I'm
Burger
sure that's
King-
not the first time that she had to man a store by herself, too.
Right.
I'm sure it was.
No, of
Because she
course.
did it like a pro, though.
Exactly, and
Wasn't the
Burger
first
King
time.
is on their way to buy Burger King anyways,
That
honey.
part.
Every time you go to Burger King, there's nobody in the drive-thru. And if we want to be honest, I don't know, remember what state this was. Was this Cleveland or something like that?
I'm not quite sure.
This was South Carolina.
Okay, South Carolina. But I know where I live, honey, I've seen plenty of Burger Kings being ran by one person because they're not busy like that. So I mean, literally, I see this all the time. I don't go there quite often, but let's say I go there maybe once every 3-4 months. Every time I go there, this is exactly what's happening. So as much as it may be on that franchise, you know, I implore other people, take your cameras out and record when y'all go on these Burger Kings and get them chicken fries, baby, and let the world see how it's only one person in all the Burger Kings.
Oh my God. How many, like, you guys have children.
Yeah.
How many times have you had to, like, put off work or work between to get your kids here and, you know, do things for them?
Being an entrepreneur and Tally as well.
Yes.
Right? I have 4 children. At the end of the day, I've left jobs before I owned my own and said, have a great day, sweetheart. My kids come first.
Yeah.
But at the same time, on the other end, now being an entrepreneur, the owner,
Yeah.
it's a very thin line and it's a hard conversation to have because I have to be understanding as a mom, but I'm also an entrepreneur who has to run a company and I can't do it without you.
Right.
So I understand both sides of the fence, but parent comes first.
Yes.
Business comes after.
I hear you. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't you go anywhere. We have more discussion in Girlfriend's Guide and Mind, Body, and Soul coming up right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Point of View.
What's up, family? Thank you so much for tuning in on this commercial break. I do have a question for y'all. What's your biggest financial regret?
Buying 2 luxury vehicles at one time.
Oh,
Giving away $3,000 in car note in a month for 2 cars and insurance and expenses. And when one went away, thank you, Milton. I was so
not Milton. Hurricane Milton?
Yes, girl. Yes. The highest car note, which was $1,800, went away.
Oh, my God.
And I've never celebrated something so much in my life.
Bet.
Thank you, Milton.
And then you go and buy your
Don't.
all right, okay, all right. I'm up there to stay in my place. I would have to say my biggest financial regret is never working a 9-to-5 and just going straight into entrepreneurship because, you know, there were so many skills that I didn't learn not having to wait 2 weeks for that paycheck, you know? And so now we got a 2-week paycheck, but, you know, it's just later on in life, it's not the same effects, you know, as it was before. And I feel like, you know, I had a lot of years where I was mismanaging money because I'm just like, you know what, I'll make more money tomorrow.
That's the hairstylist talk.
Well, drop down in our comments and let us know what your biggest financial regret is, and we're going to get back to the show.
Welcome back from the quick commercial break. Now it's time to get into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. Here's a post that's stirring up debate online. A woman tweeted, "As your girlfriend, I shouldn't have to know you're going through financial hardship. Figure it out without asking me." Now, some say it's harsh and shuts down vulnerability in relationships, while others think she has a point. So what do you think? Is this just setting healthy boundaries or shutting men out when they need support?
Somebody hurt my good friend Anika. And I believe it was a broke man.
Okay.
Somebody hurt her. Why else would she put this out there? Somebody hurt her. And I believe it was a broke man that she probably had to help fix, put together, find him a job, and do all of the things when it's like, I secretly, just very secretly, I feel like as adults, and I've said this before, and people hate me online, but I just feel like when you come to somebody and you want to date them or you want to ask them out to be in a relationship or something, have your stuff in order. Stop looking for people to come and fix you and put you together. Like, people really be going into relationships looking for a wife immediately. Like, you don't even know my first name, my middle name, my last name, and you want a wife off rip? No.
I like what you said before. Be a husband. Be ready to be a husband.
Yeah, no, be with the man that wants to be a husband and not the man that wants a wife.
Yeah. I like that.
Because that's what they want. That's all they want is a wife without actually being a husband.
Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about that. Because I feel like it, like we said last time it came up, it should definitely be both ways. But I also feel like at this big grown age, we don't know how old Anika is. But what I will say is that you should not be with someone that you don't care about their finances, I feel like we're constantly in a place where, yes, we want people to come and be put together. But in this economy, I know so many people who have had their finances in order for so long that own multiple properties, cars, that put children through school. And they are struggling right now. And so to be in a situation... So
what you're saying, don't put your trust in your finances.
Exactly.
Put your trust in the Lord.
Put your trust in the Lord. But also, you should be, if it's two heads coming together, because at the end of the day, sadly, people ain't valuing marriage right now, so they plan to be boyfriend and girlfriend until they die. Right. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you need to care about what your boyfriend got going on.
It sounds to me like she wants a superficial man, though.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I shouldn't have to know that you're going through financial hardship. So then when you're going through something, you shouldn't be hurt either then. You should be quiet. Because it's a give and take, not just finance.
Are we asking a man to provide, or are we just asking a man to just be there?
But the man can still provide. Now, everybody's interpretation of providing comes in different ways.
Right.
Right? Providing isn't just monetary. You can have a man who has a lot of money
but
and
this
provides, but he's never there.
She's talking about financial hardship.
But what if at the end of the day, yes, that man is experiencing a temporary financial hardship, because it can be this week, it can be next Thursday. You don't know, right? You can have $1 million in your bank account be frozen in 22 minutes.
My God.
Right? That's a financial hardship. But for you to say, oh, I shouldn't know that, okay, so that means that he should keep his mouth shut. You should sit there and continue on with life the way that you see it while he's struggling and has no one to tell that to. You're his partner.
I think
you're his mate.
Oh, I don't know Anika either. But if I had to assume, I would assume she's coming from a space of, I don't really want you to put that on me. Like, we can talk about it, but I don't want you to put it on me and look to me for the solution. I think as a man, this is not me.
No.
I think she's coming from a space of, I want you as a man to figure it out and don't put no more stress on me than I need.
But is that considered a real relationship?
No, and she should have no problem when you ghost her since you don't want to know.
This is girlfriend. This is not wife.
Yeah, it's not wife.
Right, but even as girlfriend, you have to build to become one as wife and husband. The financial hardship, we need to experience this while I'm your girlfriend.
I need to know how you respond.
How are we going to deal with it? And he also needs to know how I'm going to help out.
I'm with you. They need to figure it out, honey.
Anika look like Anika's going to be single for a long
Some
time.
commenters had, they've had a lot of stuff to say online. So we have user Forlando wrote, "Don't be vulnerable with your girl. Don't vent to her ever. Do not show any signs of weakness. They don't experience the life of a male."
And vice versa. They don't experience life as a female.
Yeah, right. And here's
thanks, Fernando. Fernando.
Fernando.
Penny Pension. His name is literally Penny Pension _boy. Get out of here. It's over. Please.
Probably shouldn't have been the one to deliver that.
Please get him off the screen. Penny Pension. 22 hours ago, boy.
Here's another comment from Blackwell.
Oh, God.
He wrote, "So pathetic, man. So crazy how so many people want finished products and have zero interest in going through the journey of life with their partners. All you guys want is good, good, good. Absolutely zero adversity or hardship with your partner.
Oh, brother, like I said, they want to wipe
I
it
agree, though.
immediately.
I really do agree.
I do want
Everybody
the finished product. I don't care. I do want the finished product. I want you, when you approach me, make sure you got it in order, honey.
So he might have it in order at that moment, but what about 30 days later? He had it all in order,
And
and
30
life
days
happened.
later, if I decided I still want to be there, then I'll be there to help build. I'll be
Would
there.
you help?
I would be there to help support in the way that I can support.
Okay.
But if you approach me
If you
and
decide.
we already like what on date one, and you telling me you just lost your job, you just lost your car, you doing all of this, why are you even in the dating pool at all? You should be trying to figure out your own situation before you even jump out here talking about you want to date somebody.
Yeah,
You need to get to know yourself.
I agree with that.
I do believe that people should have, a certain amount of
That's
order
crazy.
going on in their life, before they start dating. Dating is expensive, and that just is what it is. But at the end of the day, I do feel like it's so funny how so many people in society feel that way, and it just kind of makes you think about like that big sloppy guy that is behind the phone, saying he want a skinny woman with a six-pack and a big butt and chest in her throat, all of these things, and he looks absolutely nothing like that. That to me is the equivalent of, so many women or men always wanting this perfect package. And so it's like, you know what, we need to be on some type of Steve Harvey, the 30-day plan, and baby, let's go over credit score, financials, and everything else for both parties, because so many people are wanting someone to come in completely fixed up, baby, and they life be in shambles.
Well, some
Right.
people are also looking for someone to come fix them up.
Yeah,
And
there's
so,
a lot
you know,
of
it
like
would
that.
be
And women.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And if women deserve that, then we have to be realistic. Some men deserve it too. I just don't want no man that feel like he deserve it. But hey, it got to go both ways.
Yeah, but
It
you're
got to go
not
both ways.
that one you're gonna have to struggle with.
And I've struggled with a man before.
At this point in life, starting over.
I can't say what I would do now. I've done it already. I don't already put my time in the game. Yeah.
That's already served my time. I get it. Next up, we're slowing down for a moment to focus on what really counts: our peace, our growth, and our purpose. Let's get into mind, body, and soul. All right, y'all. So let's be real. Life can feel overwhelming between work, family, and just trying to make it through this economy. Some days it feels like there's no breathing room. This has been a very popular question and concern online. So what's your advice for coping when everything feels like it's just way too much?
Sleep.
Sleep. Okay.
Pray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say pray and kind of just get active. I think the issue with sleep is that I've tried that. When you wake up, everything's
still there.
still the same. Dang,
Yeah.
no alleviation. So now I'm just kind of like getting active, really getting creative as well, and working on different breathing techniques and kind of getting back to just moving. Sometimes when you allow your brain to get movement, you can kind of get a little bit more creative, and you get new ideas, or you might go be driving somewhere, maybe you see a sign, and oh my God, that was it.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the dreaming.
I think this is a tough question in some aspects, because you never know what's really going on in someone's life.
Right.
Right. Some things are just like real heavy. There's high stakes. And other times, there may not be. Because I was thinking about this question. I was like, I don't know if my situations are as high stake as others, but of course this is my situation, and it feels overwhelming. But what I've learned to do when I feel like I'm toiling and I'm working so hard, I have learned to just say, you know what, I have to step back. Step back. I feel like I must have lost my connection with God, because I'm not trusting. I'm not walking in faith, because if I was, then I wouldn't feel this toiling happening, like I'm working and not getting anywhere. So I decide, let me pray. Let me really hear from God. Step back from all the things that I'm doing. Just stop for a moment so I can get back connected and hear what he has to say and allow him to do the work. Because so many times we're not allowing him to do the work, and he wants to help you. And you're like, I got it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, because you can't really do it without him.
Yeah, for sure. I have so many times, even lately, I hear myself when I'm kind of, feeling that toiling and that pressure and a little bit of strain.
Yeah.
And I kind of just like hear a voice in my head and it's just like, be anxious for nothing. And sometimes I just repeat it and I'm like, you know what, be anxious for nothing, be anxious for nothing. And just kind of keep moving, and it works.
You can calm
itself
down.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We over think a lot of things sometimes and feel like everything is so urgent
Right now.
And then when it doesn't happen, you realize, hey, I didn't die. It didn't happen, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
I get really quiet. I get quiet. I'll sit by myself. I'll go away from my kids. I go in my office. I do whatever I have to do to just get quiet.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, I can put my thoughts together, regroup, pray about it. Because I'm also a firm believer that God can't reward something if you do no work, right? So I'll do what I need to do spiritually, and then at that point, I'll regroup. I might cry for a second, but I'm also a person where I'll cry for a second, but what we're going to do now?
Right.
Right, and then I'll move
Now we
forward.
cried, now move on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit in a pity party for too long.
Wow, that was great conversation. That's a wrap for today's show. But before we go, we want to leave you with this quote. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up.
My God.
Thomas Edison, thank you for hanging out with us on POV. And remember, you can catch us Monday through Friday only on AFRO TV, darlings. Have a great night.
Bye.